All right.
Hey,
Hey guys.
how's
Hey.
everybody doing? You know what today is? Woo,
Yes.
woo.
Water Cooler Wednesday.
Another
Yes,
one.
yes, yes. And we are here today to talk about multi units. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, like 2 to 4 unit properties. That's that all about investing. And June, that's what we're really focusing in on in June is this
Yeah,
investors, small time investors getting started. And just kind of, if you have any questions, want to ask us, let us know. We want to kind of bring that opportunity to you to be able to understand more about investing in properties because it's not always
absolutely.
about buying your first home, it's about buying other homes too. Okay. All right. So my name is Dione Branch and I am with Allure Dream Homes, broker by EXP.
And I am Lisa White, House Money Mama with Nexa Lending for all of your residential financing needs, some of your commercial ones too.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. She got them all covered. She got them
Right.
covered. So yeah, we're definitely here to help you and anything as far as real estate is concerned. So make sure you reach out to us. All right. So
Yes.
let's set the stage. Like
Well, why
what?
don't we start with like telling people what multi-unit property is? Because not everybody knows.
Yeah.
So this might be
Yeah.
new information.
Yeah, yeah. So okay, let's go there. So a multi-unit property is a 2 to 4 unit property, right? So
Yes.
it's a building. It could be a two flat building where you have a unit on one level and then another unit on top, and those are both separate living. So that's a two flat, and then you
Mm.
could do a three flat because you have three stacked up on top of each other or four. They could be stacked up, they could be side to side, but there's definitely multiple living units, all separate living spaces that a person that's an owner can actually collect rent on.
So you
Right?
mean I don't have to share a bathroom with the other people that live?
No
Uh,
bathroom
no
sharing.
bathroom
Yeah.
sharing? Oh.
Mm-mm. Yeah, you don't have to walk past them in your living room.
Well, I don't
Right.
know. This might be workable then, Dion. Let's talk about it.
Right, right. Because last week we talked about house hacking, and some people may
Yeah.
not can't do that house hacking where somebody is actually like living with you, right? So,
Yeah, because you did
but
ask me last week. It was like, would you would be I think you said you'd be a good candidate for house hacking if you're okay with people. Are you okay with people being in your space? And I'm like, no, no,
no,
no,
right?
I'm not.
Yeah, yeah. Lisa was like a no, right? So,
It was a hard no for me. Like, mm-mm.
right. I don't even know what I am. I think I mean I live with people, so I guess it's okay. But I think once you kind of, I think as women, once you start to worry about the kitchen and things like
Yeah.
that, maybe that might be an issue. But
Oh
I'm
my
okay with giving up my kitchen too,
goodness.
as long as you cook it for
That's
me.
that's true. It's a no for you.
Right. So here we go. All right. So 2 to 4 unit properties. Um, there's a difference if you have a 5 units or more, right?
Yeah.
So we talked about 2 to 4 units, but a 5 unit could actually be more of a investment property. That's more of commercial. So that's a different type of lending, different type of financing that takes place with those. So um, definitely, we're really just talking about 2 to 4 units.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. We really just gonna focus on that.
All right.
Um, excuse me. And even how would I say, the in different communities, these kind of properties a lot of times I think are attractive to the smaller investors, if you will, because
Mm-hmm.
they there's a perception that they're easier to get into. Like it's easier to find, a multi-unit property like a duplex or a two flat or, a triplex or whatever, to be able to purchase as opposed to looking for a 32 unit, building.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, price point with, getting in and stuff like that. So I think for a lot of our smaller investors, then stuff like this will be something, it's doable. And we're going to show you today how doable this actually is. So
Yeah. 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 So there's a difference when we're talking about these investments, right? And so a lot of people get and want to become an investor. And so we talk about owner occupied versus non-owner occupied because
mhm.
a lot of times as a realtor, I may suggest, I have a young couple just starting out. I might suggest to them that, hey, you told me that you want to do investing and you want to be a single family home owner, right? And so I
Right.
might suggest to them, well, let's start out with purchasing a multi-unit, right? Like a
Yeah.
two flat or a three flat at first, your first purchase, right? And so, and in order to do that, they need to be what we call owner occupied, right? Whereas they're purchasing the property, they're planning on living there for a period of time, not a
Yes.
short period, a period of time, and then they can eventually leave that property and go off and buy another property, right? So, but when you start out, you like owner occupied. What does that mean, right? What is owner occupied? So it's kind of self-explanatory. So that means your owner is occupying the property. You are
Right.
actually living in one of the units,
Right.
right?
That is your
First,
primary residence. This is
right, as
primarily
your
where
primary
you,
residence.
yes.
Yeah, so that's different than non-owner occupied financing. And Lisa's going to share some with us, but because the guidelines are different, and when you're doing non-owner occupied, that means like you're really an investor, right?
Mhm.
And so that means that the buyer does not live in the property.
That's correct. So, and this conversation is really important, and it is a bit of my soapbox, as you well know, Dion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, because it's really important to me that people understand that mortgage fraud is real. And
Hmm.
even though it might not be, necessarily what's on flashed across the news, because of course, shooting people is much more sexy. I guess that gets a lot more views. But this is something that really does actually happen. As a licensed professional, I'm required to take these classes every year, and every single year they give us new stories, current stories about somebody who was prosecuted and thrown into jail for mortgage fraud. It's not a joke. When you sign, because keep in mind, if you haven't done a mortgage before, you sign a lot of papers. You
Yeah.
need to understand what you sign.
You're trying to this
A
thick.
stack of papers, right? Like
And every one, two, three, or four after it goes, and you are occupying this property.
right. They're very clear, and you
Sign
should be
here.
very clear. You didn't told us like 20 times you plan on occupying, and then if you don't, well, now we got a problem.
Right. Are you going to occupy said property?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Sign here.
Fine. Exactly. And if you're not going to occupy the property, that's okay. I, as a broker and somebody, that has access to a lot of different lenders and investors, I can still help you. So you
Right.
don't have to occupy the property in order to be an investor, you could be an investor the more traditional way. You could just purchase the property as an investment property. You don't live there. You ain't even got to go there if you want to. You can hire somebody to do property management for you, and then you basically just you reap the benefits, and the responsibilities of the property as you rent it out. So you
Yeah.
don't have to live there. We talk about living in the house that you're going to buy and rent out because that's a easier step into real estate investment. So if
Yeah.
you do that first and you meet all the requirements, then it might be an easier way for you to do it as opposed to having to save 20% down and go out and buy an investment property, and then rent it out to somebody else. So it's just another option. But whatever you do, be honest. Let's deal with what you actually are able to do and then make our plan from there. We believe in preparation. Prepare, prepare,
Yeah.
prepare.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say our P words because no matter what, if you're doing a owner occupied or non-owner occupied, there's a plan for you in order to get there. And so you just need to take that time in order to get to your goal of what you want to do, and maybe not going around roundabout in a bad way, right? So
Right.
like the investment options that a person will have um, in purchasing these multi units?
Good question. So actually it really kind of goes back to the same thing we was just talking about, my pet peeve.
Hmm.
About being honest about if you're going to live there or not live there, because the big deal is that there's a difference in how regulations and guidelines are written in accordance with a number of different things. So one of the major things really is whether you're going to live there or not. So if you're going to live there, there's one set of requirements. If you're not going to live there, there's another set of requirements. If you're going to live there, then you can use FHA financing. You can use traditional conventional financing. If you're a veteran, thank you for your service, you can use VA financing. And then, of course, there are always non-traditional financing for my self-employed people. So like maybe your income might need to be, maybe you can't do a traditional conventional loan. So maybe we have to do a different kind of loan, like a bank statement loan or a profit and loss type of a loan or something like that. So we're able to show your income, but you still can buy and you still can live there with any of those types of loans. Usually those loans will have a lower down payment requirement because it is your home. So they don't expect you, to have to come up with 20% down in order to live in the house. So there
Hmm.
is usually some differences there. There's also often a difference with interest rate. The interest rates could be a little more favorable for people when they're actually living in their home as opposed to when people are just buying investment properties. So now keep this in mind for investment properties when you're not going to live there. That now means that your requirements are different. One, you're usually going to have to put 15 to 20% down. 20 is common. I have seen it where you have to put down more, but I would say a good place to start would be expect to have to put down 20%. So that's one thing. Also, your interest rate is going to likely be a little bit higher. They are considered riskier loans because you're not living there. So because the thing is, the rationale is, okay, if I live in my house, I'm going to make sure I have a roof over my head.
Right.
Whereas if you don't live in a house, if that house, goes to the wayside, isn't taken care of, or goes into foreclosure, it's not as big of a deal to you because that's not your home. So
Hmm.
they do make it easier for you to get into a house that you're going to live in. Um,
Yeah.
what would be another difference? Those
Did
are
you?
the main differences I think that people probably be taking into consideration. There is a type of financing though that's different if you're going to buy an investment property, what I like to call the no income loan. So it's a DSCR, which stands for debt service coverage ratio. And what the ratio, the R in that really is it's comparing the rent that you expect to be able to charge for the building as compared to the mortgage that you're going to have to pay for the building. So if the rent is enough to cover the mortgage, then you got a loan.
Okay. All right. So there
You
are
don't have to show
there's
income. You don't have
right,
to show.
there's a lot of different options for us to be able to purchase
Mhm.
with the financing and stuff. So no matter if you're owner occupied or if you're just an investor. And
Mhm.
one of the things is like a lot of people, maybe you've had your home for a period of time and you have some equity in your house, and you're trying to figure out how do I'm going to get this 20% in order to
Yeah.
qualify for the loan. You could
Yes.
probably pull out a equity loan in your own home in order to
Sure.
assist you with paying for your down payment for your building that you're going to purchase,
Yep.
right?
That's an
So
excellent idea. Yep.
mhm. So don't always think like 20%. I ain't got 20%. You had 20% somewhere. It's there. Just, maybe you just don't think about those things because you're like, oh, I don't I don't have 20, 30, 40,000 in the bank. But
Yeah.
they're there. It's there for you. All right.
Or maybe you have it someplace else like retirement. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're gonna take the 20% and use it for something like the acquisition of a property, if that's gonna make money for you, then at some point you could probably even put that money back into your retirement. But at least you could kind of borrow it so that way you could use it to start to, invest and make money. But
Yeah.
yeah, you could take it from different places. That's excellent, Dion.
Yeah.
HELOC or
Yeah.
just a cash out refinance. Either of
Yeah.
those would
So
work.
there's a lot of different options for you. Can the
Uh-huh.
rental income help me qualify?
Yeah, of course. Well, if it's a DSCR, definitely the rental income is going to qualify you if it's that kind of loan where you don't have to show income because the rental income is your income.
Okay. All right. All
So
right.
for a
So
DSCR, that's all you need. It's just enough rent to be able to cover the mortgage. Now, if we're talking about where you own or occupy, it's your primary residence, you can still use rental income to qualify. We so
yeah.
gracious.
Right. Right. Because that shows as part of your income as well, right? To help you
Correct.
qualify for more.
Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely. So we'll use your income that you're actually earning, from your job or, whatever your benefits are, whatever you're receiving, that's your income. We'll use that as a base, but then we'll also take a portion of the rental income that you expect to get. So if you're looking at a 3 unit, let's just say, and maybe the rental income on the other 2 units totals up to like $3,000. Well, we'll take that $3,000, not the full $3,000, but we'll take a portion of it. So 75%. So let's just say we'll take $2,250 and we'll add that to your income. So if you
Okay.
already making 5 stacks, now we just bumped you up.
Yeah. So then you could qualify for more. So
Now
maybe
you
at
can
the
qualify
make
for more.
right buildings, in Chicagoland right now, something like everybody wants one that's already ready to go, newly rehab. That could cost you a little bit about $400,000,
Mhm. Yeah,
but so with your income, it helps you qualify for something that's a little bit more expensive, right? But
absolutely.
I would also say don't overlook the ones that need some repair because you could get those for a lower price, put some repairs in it, and have some equity into the property as well. So, all
Hmm.
right, let's talk about this reality of being a landlord. Whew.
Ooh, we want to discuss that?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Being a
Okay.
landlord is not easy.
Let's hear your landlord stories,
Oh
Dion.
my gosh. I got them all. I got them all. And the thing about it is you can definitely have nice tenants and you
Yeah.
can have some tenants that just are not. And then uh, I think for me, the issues have mostly been because I'm a nice person, and then you have somebody that has some financial issues. Now it's harder for you to be able to, you know, get rid of that nice person and say, "Hey, you still need to pay my money, else I get you gonna get evicted." I don't care. I don't care what happened yesterday,
Right.
you know, because they always got a story for you. So,
Yep.
um, so there's a lot to it. You gotta screen your tenants. You
Oh
gotta
yeah.
make sure that you're actually getting people that qualified to be able to rent your property. One of the things that I've seen lately is a lot of people are asking people to have a credit score of 640 for a rental property.
Hmm.
And this is where I'm kind of like, yeah, okay, okay, guys, you renting. for 640. You can buy for 640. Like
You certainly
I'm
can.
torn. I'm a little torn. So so I please understand. But I understand what the landlord says. I want somebody that looks like they have some good, good credit.
Decent credit. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, so they're looking for a certain type of person as well. Um, so you got to kind of, maybe everybody doesn't have a 640, because maybe they could be buying a house or something else, right? But maybe they have the income and everything. So I've seen people that say, landlords say, hey, let me see your current house, your current apartment. I want to come visit you over there.
Really?
Yeah. Because that
I've
gives them
never
an
heard of
idea.
that. Okay, that's new.
Right, that gives you as a landlord an idea of how that person is gonna live in your
In your
place.
house. Yeah.
So then you're like, oh, okay, you walk in and there's stuff everywhere, right? Food all over the place. You're like, I don't
Right.
care
Then
what your credit
you knew I
score
was
look
coming,
like.
right? You did know I was coming. I didn't just
Right,
show up.
right. So I mean, so there's different ways. It's not always just running a background check
Yeah.
and credit check to see if the person is gonna how they're gonna take care of your property, because that's really
Right.
the most important part of being a landlord is this person that I'm letting into my property gonna take care of my property,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Will you?
Right. Vacancies can happen and they will happen,
They
right?
will have.
So that's I had single family homes that I was renting out
Hmm.
before. I actually like a multi-unit more than a single family home,
Why is that?
because in the multi-unit somebody's paying rent, okay, like somebody's covering something, right? But in a
Okay.
single family home, if that person isn't paying their rent, who's paying the rent? Who's paying the mortgage?
You.
Me, right?
Yep.
So it that I felt more at risk being an investor with single family homes.
Okay.
You could get around that by only renting to maybe somebody that's on some type of program, Section 8,
Hmm.
something like that, right? Where
Yeah.
it's kind of more or less you have some guaranteed money coming in. But yeah,
Or I've seen this. I don't want to use the word popular, but people are becoming more aware of things other than just Section 8 as
yeah, yes,
so you use your maybe you're not doing traditional rental where you rent it to a person where that is their primary residence. Maybe you're doing a rental in the sense that like a halfway house kind of a scenario, or
hmm,
you set it up where you have people utilizing it like traveling nurses, people
yes,
in the
yeah,
medical field,
yes,
different things like that, people that are transitioning out of some type of program to get like
hmm,
transitional living. So
yeah.
you use the house and you rent it out, you get a contract with a government agency and you rent it out that way, I mean, but
Yeah, and I agree. There's a lot of different programs out there now that will actually kind of pay you
yeah.
for a house, and also, even with the migrants, they were paying 6 months of rent, in advance. So there were definitely some different programs that are out there that can assist you as far as with being a landlord and your type of tenants and making sure that you get payments done.
Yeah.
So when there's vacancies, there's a that always think of creative ways. So the buy you need to understand leases, deposits, right?
Yeah.
Security deposit. There's a lot of rules. Illinois has a lot of
A lot
guidelines,
of
so
rules. Yeah.
they are more about tenant rights rather than about the
They are.
landlord
They
rights.
absolutely, yeah. I would
Right.
say that too, as far as the state of Illinois. Yes, I think
Yeah.
most people would agree. Yeah.
So there's definitely, if you want to know about tenant rights, in the comments, comment tenant rights, and we can share with you a document on all the Illinois guidelines on tenant rights.
Mm.
So So we're talking about local rules and then property management,
Yep.
right? I would think that property management is someone that has more than one building, more than one unit, right?
Okay.
More than, so if you have a 2 unit building, do you need property management? No,
Mm,
like once you get beyond, maybe they call them doors. Like once you get beyond 8 doors, so that could be, you can have a building, you can have 4 houses, whatever, right? Once you get beyond 8 doors or something like that, then maybe
mhm.
you would look into property management. And the
Yeah.
reason is because there's a cost to it, and there's not much profit from multi units as we would want. So property management, I don't know if I would suggest that right in the beginning.
Right. Yep.
Mhm.
But being a landlord is definitely a business, so you have to take all of that into
Right,
consideration. Yeah.
all of it, it is a business.
Yep. And it's not like HGTV. People see that stuff on TV and think, oh, this is so sexy, so good.
Right.
Let's do it.
Right, everyone thinks that, even just uh there's a lot of uh Instagram, Facebook groups, things like
Yeah.
that that talk about, that show you the glorified of being a investor. And
Mhm.
oh, I went in, and even we're not talking about fix and flips, but people, they show fix and flip, and then it's like in 30 minutes that fix and flip is done. Right.
Right, but you didn't see they went in to redo the bathroom and they knocked something over and the wall opened up and water just started spraying out.
Right, exactly.
I
Right.
can't even know it was a pipe back there. What are
Right,
we doing?
right, right. My plans, I bought a building. I wanted to fix it up and bring it up to code, and now
Yeah.
there's some city violations that I didn't know about that was on there that wasn't caught for some reason. These things happen.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So there's a lot to it. Don't want to discourage you from doing it. There's definitely some benefits to it, and
Right.
it is something I do enjoy as well. So there's pros and cons to it as
Right.
well.
And you have to take everything into consideration. With any business, you have to take everything into consideration. Actually, I would say with any decision that you make in life, this is like life lessons right here. This is not
Right,
just real estate lessons, this is life lessons. Anything that you're going to do, you need to contemplate the matter, weigh out pros and cons.
right.
Relationships, businesses, ventures that you're going to, and whatever you're going to do, think about it, make an
Yeah.
informed decision.
So what should they look for?
Oh, the L word.
Location, location,
Location.
low. Yeah.
Yes. That's going to be a big part because location and rental demand are key. That's going to be a big part of what's going to be important if you plan on renting out. Because even in a place where you're going to live there, if you buy a 3 unit or something like that, you still want to rent out the other units. So
Right.
yeah,
You
you want
wanna
to
you
make sure.
want an area that you probably feel comfortable at
Yeah,
least going to, right? So it's
yeah,
not even that I want to live there. So I've decided to do non-owner occupied, but I still got to go collect the rent. I still got
yes,
to go and check the building out, and sometimes you might want to do that at nighttime or different times. So you want to make sure that you feel comfortable in that area, period.
right,
Right.
right.
Or you have people that can go do it for you, right?
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
you gotta check the conditions of each unit. You gotta know that the unit is good, right? Basically, when you're going through, you're having a home inspection just like buying a single family home. You're doing a home inspection and they're
Right.
inspecting every unit so you can know exactly what the if there's any issues and what needs to be resolved from it.
Yep. Yep.
So
Separate utilities. What about that?
yeah. Yeah, oh, definitely. Several utilities is. is a must. I think so. City of Chicago for sure. Your water is always covered by the landlord, and so Illinois, I would say for the most part, water covered by the landlord.
Okay.
Otherwise, the utilities can be separate, and that's important because the electrical you don't want to be paying large electrical bills because
Oh
somebody
my
decides.
goodness. Right.
Right. Whatever they decide that, they have they maybe you don't have central air, but you have a wall unit and they're just running it all day long. Just things like that, gas, so it's good. I
Because if they
suggest
not paying it, they gonna run it.
they gonna
The
run it.
second they have to pay for it, it's just like with your children. That they in your house, they keep everything. However they do. Oh, I ain't got to pick it up. I ain't got to do this. I ain't got to turn that off. Second they get a bill in their own apartment, now all of a sudden, Mom, when you come in, I'm gonna need you to take off your shoes. Please don't leave the light on.
Right.
Why is the water in my kitchen just running, Mom? Why?
Right.
You didn't think about none of that when you was living with me.
Right, don't care, didn't care at all, right? But those are the things, right? Those are definitely important. So I always believe like separate is good.
Yes, separate
Yeah, separate
utilities.
is good.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
absolutely.
So, right. You want to check the roof, the furnace, the plumbing, the electrical. I think the
Yeah.
roof is important. You know, I'm kind of torn because a roof, you don't want a roof that's leaking.
Right.
But if maybe the roof is older, it shouldn't require you to have the seller actually
Well,
fix the roof. Like
but
it
that's
depends.
the beauty of an inspection. They'll usually tell you how much life is left in the roof, right? I mean, so you
Correct.
can always make a plan that, okay, I know I got an older roof, and
Yeah.
probably in the next 5, 10 years, whatever, I'm gonna need to replace it because that
Yeah.
is a big expense. So you
It's a
want to
big
plan
expense.
for
Yeah, it is a big expense. I think that, but I think a lot of
it.
people kind of go, "Oh, I'm going to kill the deal because the roof is bad," right? Like or whatever. So there's always some compromise. Know how old the roof is. Know the condition of the roof. Know
That's
those things.
important. Yeah.
Know the condition of your furnace. So that you're prepared when if it is going to go out later on, things like that.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Good deal.
Parking. Parking's important.
It is parking and laundry. I used to
Yeah.
always look for places that had what this is what I used to look for when I was so lazy. If it didn't have a dishwasher, I was not renting.
Oh no. Oh no. I don't know if I didn't because I think at that time I could just go to my parents' house. Like that was always the thought. Like, oh, I'm just gonna go to my parents' house.
Mm-mm.
So I was okay with the laundry. But we lived up north
Okay.
with two cars.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we
You
couldn't find.
you wouldn't
It's
park
bad.
nowhere.
It's bad when you don't want to move your car to go to the grocery store.
Cause that space ain't gonna be there when you come back.
Then you come back, and then when you come back from said grocery store, you
Yes.
decide that you're gonna move. This is it. We're moving. That was us on the north side of Chicago. That
Okay.
was us. We went to the grocery store. We lugged all the groceries back because we didn't want to move the cars, and we was like,
That's it.
"That's it. We're done."
Right. and and you know what? I do not blame you. I can totally understand that. I don't blame you.
Right. Now, you young people, millennials, I guess y'all know how to get around that. Probably, there was no such thing as Instacart when I was.
Right. Right. Yeah. You're right, because now it probably wouldn't matter. They'll just, yeah,
Right,
Uber Eats and
right,
Instacart and so, yeah, yeah,
right.
this is
All of
what
that.
bring to
Like
the
you get
house.
the groceries delivered to your doorstep. Well, you could even get Walmart and
Right.
Amazon Fresh to deliver to your house. So maybe these things don't matter anymore, right? But
Right.
they did when I was when I lived up north.
Right.
Right.
Well,
So
and parking, I mean, you still got to go places, so, and
yeah,
a lot of times,
parking sorry. Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't think yeah, I can
Mm-hmm.
get that. So I know we already talked about house hacking, so we don't really need to refocus on that.
No.
But what about some of the common mistakes that buyers make? What would you say?
Looking only at the purchase price.
Mm,
I was
I think that's
ignoring
a good one.
the repair costs, right? We talked about making sure you at least understand what the costs are and the
Yeah.
condition of the property,
Yep.
right? Yeah, assuming that every unit will stay rented. I
Oh
think
my
that's
goodness.
right.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. We do a 75% vacancy rate for a reason. Yeah, well,
yeah,
it's really 25% vacancy rate, but we give you only 75% of the rental income that's projected for a reason, because
yeah,
that's more realistic.
yeah.
You're not
Because
gonna have 100% of rental all
somebody's
the time.
gonna move, right?
Yes.
Somebody's gonna want to move. They're gonna tell you 1 month prior that they're getting ready to move,
Yeah.
and you gotta then take 2 months. Then you gotta give their security deposit back, and you have to figure out get the property to get the unit back up and
Ready.
ready for the
Ready.
next person. So
Yeah.
really, you're looking at maybe 2 months without having actually a person in there, and it could actually go to 3 months. So
Yeah.
you have to think about that, because it's so, how quickly can you get that person out and another person in,
Right.
and right, and will they let you show the rental while they're still in it, um, or do would you want to, right? So all these different things.
Right. That's
Right.
true.
Right. Understanding the tenant landlord rules, right?
Yep.
So remember,
Important.
comment tenant rules below, and we can share with that with you. And underestimated taxes and insurance.
Okay. That's big. Yeah.
Yeah.
I say for me is that a lot of times they'll ask how much is the monthly payment, but we really need to know, like, can you qualify? Does the rental income support the payment? I mean,
Hmm.
all of that is part of what I do, but still, it's important. Then you need to know, because sometimes reserves are required on the loan file. Do you need to have reserves? And even if you don't, maybe you should think about having reserves.
Yeah.
Because you kind of starting off, with a business in a way, whether you live there or not live there, still the actual part of renting out is still, it's a bit of a business. So you may want to have something set aside in case you get a business expense that you need to attend to. So that's important too. And then just understanding, like how you talked about repairs, things like that. Is any of that going to be needed? Is the place currently rented? What are they collecting for rent? Are those people going to actually leave? Are they going to stay? Is it truly cash flowing, or does it just look really cute on the spreadsheet?
Yeah. 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 So true. So true. So do we have any advice real quick?
For new investors, if you're starting off, you're a newbie. I would suggest house hacking, like we talked about, where you live there, rent out the other units, but start
Hmm.
right here. Education.
Education.
Mhm.
Education. Making sure you have the right team.
Yep.
We're here to help you, guide you through the process.
Yep. Work
So,
with a realtor who understands investment properties, like
yeah,
Dion. She's done
yeah,
it herself, in addition
yeah,
to helping other people to find theirs. So yeah.
yeah, definitely good. Start out there. Know your numbers. Make and when you're making the offer. So, right, understand. Get pre-approved. Make sure you know what it's gonna take to maintain that property. Right.
And in this case, I think this is really important because this is a business decision. You need to be more business than emotional. So
Let
do not get emotionally attached too quickly. Don't do
right.
that.
Remove the emotion.
Yep. And think long term.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Lisa. We've been here for a minute.
Yes, we have.
We've been here. All right, guys. Well, Lisa and I are always here every Wednesday for you.
Wednesday, every Wednesday.
Right. So if you want to talk, Lyndon, give Lisa a call. She'll definitely get you started. Best place to start is with your pre-approval, knowing.
Is this a L? L
Yes.
for lending. L
Yeah.
for Lisa the lender.
Right. All
Okay,
right.
there we
Talk
go.
to Lisa about that. Now, for me, if you're thinking about doing investments, single family home, and want to make a plan, give me a call. You could we could start out having a discussion on what's the plan? What is the plan? Your P gotta go the other way, Lisa.
No,
Is it a D or is it
I
a
was
P?
trying to do a D for Dion. It's not coming out
It
right.
looks
Wait,
like a P, but at least do that. Right. That's a right. That's
there.
better.
Okay.
I think I'm still backwards. I'm not even gonna try it. But yeah. So I would
I'll practice
say
that before we come on next time.
right. Yeah. So give us a call. We're always here every week for you. Um, you want to know about the landlord tenant rights? I think that's the best place to start.
Yep.
Put it in the chat. Put tenant rights, and we'll send it right over to you.
Sounds good. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Bye.
Bye.
Um, I'm gonna get us there. Bye.